with John Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook Preview Show, where we're looking at the Monday 6-game main slate starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, running through 9 p.m. with Chicago, Denver. Big news already on this slate. Nikola Jokic seemingly going to miss some time out already for this one. Maybe going to miss another game as well. Anthony Davis upgraded to doubtful, right? Doubtful, questionable,
doubtful.
We'll see. We'll see if Anthony Davis actually returns or not for the Dallas Mavericks, not in this game. So a couple of big names there already. And of course, we'll have all the updates for you at 5 p.m. Eastern Time when we go live here for this slate. Luka is your top price guy. You get LeBron at 10-3, maybe AD at 10-2. All the guys up over $10,000 right there for you. Grande, man, how are we feeling about 7 games here? How was your weekend?
I would feel good about 7 games, but it's 6
games. 6 games.
My weekend is great, as you know, so I'm ready to get into the slate.
Perfect. Love it. Point guard position. Luka Doncic, 12-3. Top price guy by a boatload. Then you go Giddey, 91. Giddey went for 73, something like that, fantasy points the other day. Nearly quadruple doubled. Had 8 steals in that game against the Lakers. And Quentin Grimes at $9,000 as your top 3 point guards. Grimes had another big day on Sunday. If you're not, are you paying for Luka, I guess, as the top guy here on this slate at 12-3?
You can always pay for Luka. Not the best spot, but he's matchup proof. So if you want to play him, you can play him.
Okay, where do you go next?
Josh Giddey with the game that he had, all numbers under 18, just how he likes it.
Yep.
And he's great on the floor. So if you want to play Josh Giddey, everything is trending upwards for him. The minutes looked great. The production is great typically when he's on the floor. So sure. I like Giddey. And then, we'll see second leg of a back-to-back here for Grimes. Philly it was competitive-ish. He was good again, 26, 6, 5, all the good stuff. So you could definitely, 9K doesn't feel too pricey, especially in this spot against New Orleans.
Yeah, not anymore. That game, the Pelicans are a 5.5-point favorite, 231.5 total there in that game. Your next tier down, we had Halliburton return finally after an absence. Came up, doubled, 16, 8, and 12. Kind of been really good for us. Gets a home matchup against Minnesota. That game there between these two teams, the Pacers are a 1.5-point home favorite, 231.5 total. If we're looking in this 8K range, is Halliburton the guy to go to, or is it Kobe White again who continues the ball out?
Answer is C. Jamal Murray would be the guy.
Okay.
For me, he's having a really good game tonight. I think what has helped him on Sunday was they moved Westbrook to the bench. I don't know if they're going to continue with that, but they looked good with that lineup. Murray, with a few minutes left in the game, 36 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. And I do think getting a traditional center in DeAndre Jordan and the ball in Jamal Murray's hands matters quite a bit. We've loved what we've seen from Westbrook this year, and he's obviously a good spark and whatnot, but they gave Jamal Murray the $200 million extension, not Russell Westbrook. So I like Murray of those 3. I like Kobe White. I like Halliburton. I probably would rank them Murray, White, Halliburton.
Okay.
Kobe White's been an absolute assassin scoring the basketball, but everything else has kind of fallen by the wayside, and I understand it. When you're playing with Nikola Vucevic and Josh Giddey, there's not a lot of peripheral stats to be had. So if Kobe continues to score the way he has, then he should be really good. And Halliburton is definitely solid, but you can get to any of them. I rank them Murray, White, Halliburton.
Okay. I wonder if there's any risk for Murray maybe sitting here. Obviously, he's been dealing with the ankle. He's on the injury report as questionable and missing, had potentially missed opportunities to miss some times last week. So something to watch. But yeah, the move, dusting off DeAndre Jordan like that, right? And he goes out there and gives you a big double-double. so far here on Sunday. 7K range. Do we know if Zion is back or not for
He didn't play. He did not play Sunday.
Yeah, so didn't play Sunday. We assume probably good to go here, but McCollum either way at $7,400 against Philadelphia, coming off the 60 bomb that he had against Detroit. Obviously on Sunday here, so get it. Zion's back, but McCollum's kind of been playing out of his mind. You have Dallas, Washington versus Toronto's on this slate. What do you think in this 6K and under range?
On the Zion front, I'm actually not sure. It was not rest. He has
Okay.
missed 2 straight games with a back injury, so I'm not so sure that he's going to play. I'm also not sure McCollum's going to play. He sat their last back-to-back. So
Okay.
I think both those are question marks. If McCollum is playing without Zion, then he's a great play. Honestly, if McCollum's playing with Zion against Philly, I'd probably play him.
Probably a great play.
Yeah, probably a great play. So if McCollum is just on the floor and playing basketball, he's definitely in the player pool. I think Emmanuel Quickly is a really solid play here. He's going to play on Monday. He sat the Sunday game. They played Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett. So I assume, how they've done it is they will sit those 2 players, or at least they will sit RJ Barrett. We'll see. But I assume Quickly plays second leg of a back-to-back, 6,600. Starters continue to get like 30 minutes a night. So I like Quickly in that next tier.
Sure. Value range, I guess if there is no normal, if we end up seeing McCollum sit also, you'll have the Pelicans value here. Anything stand out to you other than that as a go-to value play on this slate?
Not necessarily value, but I guess wait and see what happens with D'Lo. He's questionable. Sure. If not, Keon Johnson. But if D'Lo plays, I'd also play D'Lo. I mean, he had a monster game. Fortunate that with some overtime, but he was really good in the second half of the last game he played. So any of that Brooklyn stuff right there makes a lot of sense. You can get to DiVincenzo in tournaments, but the minutes have been kind of wishy-washy.
Sure.
So Jeff Doughton started on Sunday, and I saw a report. After today, he has 4 games left on his 2-way. So if Jeff Doughton starts, he had 17, 4, 3, 3, and 2. He had 5 stocks, 26 minutes in a start. If we saw Jeff Doughton start, I think you could play him. If he doesn't start, he's probably going to DMP. He did all week until Sunday. So that's something to monitor. Alvarado started on Sunday, 28 minutes, almost doubled. That is what it is.
Yeah.
Jamal Shed was great Sunday, but I don't think we can get there with the likelihood that Quickly's returning. And then, like you said, is there Pelican stuff? Elf is back. I mean, I don't know if Elf's going to play. I don't know if he's going to play here, but if they roll a bunch of guys out, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Elf in the lineup.
Okay. Shooting guard position then, Anthony Edwards, $9,500. Questionable here. We'll see whether or not he actually comes back and plays in this game, but obviously we'd like the ceiling there against Indiana. We talk Grimes. What are your thoughts here as we kind of work our way? A lot of these guys have that dual positional eligibility already.
Yeah, if Ant plays, he's for sure a solid option. Grimes, we've talked. Franz, Reeves, we saw. Like, Reeves is a great basketball player. We're paying a price that suggests LeBron and Luka aren't there, or just LeBron's not there.
He had the 25 actual when LeBron played, right? But what's that gonna? How consistently can he do that, right? So.
I mean, it's just another scenario where he has peripheral stat gobblers on his team that he's just gonna run into. Wonder if RJ plays, as we talked about. If he does, then I would definitely have some interest in RJ Barrett. Clay and Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie was good again the other day, 2 straight. If he likely starts again, you can get there. Same thing goes for Clay. Like, you could play Clay. I don't love the price at 64, but they're shorthanded. So if you want to get to some Clay, you can.
Sure. $5,700 Kevin Huerter played 34 minutes again. Continues to be pretty good whenever in the lineup, even with Giddey back. They don't have Trey Jones, so the minutes are going to be there for him. I think we can continue to look there. Thoughts on the rest of this 5K range and under? Any names? Bruce Brown's $4,800. Maybe Zion Williams is back. What are your thoughts here?
Herder's probably my fifth favorite bull.
I was gonna say, you hate Kevin Huerter. I don't know. He continues to be like pretty good from like a price perspective, but I know you're never really in on him. So
I would be perfectly fine if I did not get 24 fantasy points. The 50 was great. The 24 was cool. Happy I didn't play him. And also there's just other better bulls on the team. Especially with Bazulis back in the starting lineup like we saw the other day. I don't know. I don't love this range. I guess depending on what happens with New Orleans, Bruce Brown's an option.
Sure.
Played a lot of minutes off the bench. Wasn't very good. Tyrese Martin, another guy, probably plays a bunch of minutes. Isn't great per minute, but the minutes could be great. Jordan Hawkins is a guy who's playing a lot, and about time. We kind of have asked for that, but 23 or more minutes in 4 straight, 27 or more in 3 or 4. I guess just depending on what happens with New Orleans in their rotation.
Yeah. He's a big offensive guy. We talk about it all the time, right? 6 threes hitting that game, 8 of 13. So 4K is a good tournament play there. Do you do anything with Washington? Any of these Washington guys for you? Carrington, Smart looking like he's going to play. Middleton looking like he's going to play. Nothing.
You're answering your own question.
All right, just throwing it out there to you. All right, small forward then. Where are we when it comes to this position? LeBron is eligible. Zion is eligible. Giddey is eligible. Do you find any appeal to LeBron or Zion if they're active in these spots?
Yeah, Zion. 10-3 LeBron. No thanks. Zion. Oh, anytime there's an injury with Zion, that's a little bit concerning. That'd be my one hesitation. I don't know if we get the
back
full
contusion, I guess, is maybe like a slight positive. It's not like a back pull or strain or something. You just as a bruise.
Yeah, I mean it's kept him out for 2 straight games. So that'd be like, and it's Zion. That would be
Yeah.
You pair those things, and like if you tell me that he's going to go out and play 30 minutes, and he'd be in my player pool.
Yeah, they're so overly protective of Zion Williamson,
Yeah. Well, and they've, to be fair, they have every right to be that.
Especially if they're trying to trade him in the offseason. So
yes.
Cam Johnson was awesome the other day. Play that.
Yeah, Cam Johnson has been pretty good at basketball. And like this last stretch of time. So I don't love the price personally, but I'd be willing to. I
mean, if Russell's out, right? Like, I mean, like there's just more usage can go his way. And the rebounding lately, like these other peripheral stats we're not accustomed to seeing, right? But 6, 7, 4, and 5 rebounds out of him, a game with a 10 assists, rather, a game with 10 and 9 rebounds.
I would typically agree with you about like more usage to go around, but like I'm not sure in this case because Cam Johnson's not someone who creates his own shot.
Sure. And
D'Angelo Russell's a good passer. So like that is the one part I would disagree, because just because if D'Angelo doesn't play, that doesn't mean Cam Johnson's necessarily putting it on the deck and like operating in isolation.
When I say usage, I guess I should have corrected myself. More said probably potentially more shot attempts, because D'Angelo Russell is a guy that looks for a shot when the ball's in his hand. There's a chance that the ball just finds Johnson a bit more as their leading scorer on this team. So, and it's a matchup against Dallas. We know they're not like great defensively. PJ Washington, is pretty good on the wing, but nothing crazy there. Michael Porter Jr.'s $6,800. You mentioned Clay already. Jaden McDaniels, $62. Christian Brown's at $6K with some dual positional eligibility. Keyshawn George. What do we think as we rock the mid range?
I basically am going to pretend like this range doesn't exist.
Okay.
I think like if Ant sits, you can make a case for Jaden McDaniels probably as like the top option there.
Okay.
I would go right to Justin Edwards. That'd probably be like the first place I'd go. And I'm assuming he's going to be popular again. he was great on Sunday. Again, offensively great. The minutes have been great. He scored 20 actual again on Sunday, so 30 plus fantasy points for fourth time in 4 games. So that would probably be the direction I'd go before like any of that other crap I had.
Okay. Any other value then, I guess? I mean, we saw them, randomly give Champagne a start after icing him out for a bit there. Is Okeki still on his 10-day? I mean, like the minutes have been there the last couple of games. Did he? Any additional thoughts for value range?
I am basically out on Washington, so I'll save us.
I will stop asking about Washington then, if that's what it is. Okay.
They're a nightmare. They took Tristan Vukcevic out of the rotation the other day.
Yeah.
They didn't play the starters again. Basically, no. I mean, Bub Carrington played a bunch of minutes, but I mean, again, it's just an absolute nightmare. It's not anything that I personally have any interest in.
Okay.
Chuma is fine. He started 35 minutes, 8-8-2. I wish the price was like a little cheaper than 4,500. I think that's hard to get to for a guy that has like a 10% usage rate.
Sure.
The
minutes obviously have been great. 35
minutes, 30. The minutes have been great. It's just like that Tony Snell played 35 minutes a game. That Tony Snell has just got a lot of cardio in.
Sure.
I don't unless something changes, I don't see a lot here.
All right, power forward then. Again, there's LeBron. There's a potential returning Anthony Davis. If Anthony Davis was the play and like he wasn't limited, would you play him? I mean, 10-2?
He's not even if he plays, he's limited. There's just no chance. There's just no chance. He hasn't played since February 8th. There's no chance.
No arguments. You never know with these people. Banchero continues to be pretty good. Got him against the Lakers at $9,900. You have Siakam's 83, Washington 82. Is your top guys a power forward?
Yeah. Love Paolo, whatever format you want to use him in. Pascal, the minutes have been trending upwards for him. I don't hate the spot. I don't love the spot. I think that it's solid. PJ continues to like score the basketball really well. I just don't and the perfect blocks and steals were great. Where have the rebounds gone? Why did he have no assists and 9 turnovers? I don't understand that one. So, yes, on basically Paolo, Siakam, and PJ. Okay. And if there's no Ant, I'm in on some Julius Randle.
I would even buy into some Julius Randle if there's no Anthony Edwards there. So I wouldn't fight you too hard there. Yeah, I mentioned Cam Johnson. I do like him at 7K. Aaron Gordon, as you mentioned, they went to the more traditional center. Gordon, 13, 3 rebounds tonight because DeAndre Jordan's got 15. He does have 8 assists, though. Are you still playing Aaron Gordon at 65 if this is the lineup they're trotting out there?
Probably. It's a good, in theory, it's a good spot. The Bulls have obviously been better defensively. We talked about that. But they're also using Josh Giddey as their primary defender, and then Luka scored 30 actual against him in a half. So, sure. I'd probably pay it knowing there's no Jokic.
Okay. Nas, again, maybe if there's no Ant. I mean, Ant doesn't really dictate Nas Reed's minutes, but offensively, if Ant's off the floor and Nas is on the floor, there's some chances there for him.
Yeah, that's the correct lane to take for sure. You're playing Nas Reed because you think that he's going to be on the floor more than Gobert because they need more offense.
Right. And just not sharing the court with Edwards when they do overlap. Yep. More chances to go the ball there. So you got Nas at 59, which is a pretty good price tag for him there. Kelly O's 53. You mentioned going to Edwards right there at 5K as well. You talked about Matis entering the starting lineup. Oh, we go back and forth on this. I get it. You want to, playoffs and all the you need. shouldn't you want to develop this kid and see if he can just be that scorer for you here?
Yeah, so there was the post-game interview that Buzelis did, and he basically said, like, he appreciates the way that Billy Donovan has handled him this year, and like anytime he screws up or makes mistakes and he gets benched, he says he thanks him because he knows what to improve on and how to get better. And he's basically going on about how he wants to be the best player ever. And it was obviously a really like good post-game interview, especially coming off 31 actual. And he's talking about how his coach holds him accountable and benches him when he's doing something stupid. And he's like, I won't do that again if, I keep being held accountable. So this seems like a springboard to something big. The career high 31. He is obviously super talented offensively. That has never, ever once been in doubt that he can put the ball in the basket. And with Trey Jones out, we saw it. Like I'd say the only thing that we really have to worry about is that Patrick Williams' minutes have been ramped. And if he sucks, like if Buzelis sucks, there's obviously a chance that Patrick Williams plays over him, right? Like that would be the only condition that I see Buzelis like losing time on.
Yeah.
But I like Buzelis pretty much regardless.
Okay. Any other value down here, power forward?
Yeah, Trent Watford coming off a absolute banger of a game. And we're Trent Watford fans here.
Yeah, 3 of the last 4 games, 27 or more minutes. Like, play the guy.
Yeah, the minutes are really where we can really hang our hat on here. He's been great when on the floor. So Buzelis, Watford, no idea what Toronto's going to do. They started Castleton. He was a 0. So just probably ignore it. If Zion's out, they started Matkovic. He just was in foul trouble the whole game. Him and Kelly O both fouled out in this game. And like, yeah, it's very possible. But
still
like
had 8 and 11 in 16 minutes.
Dude, he's a monster fantasy point per minute guy. So like if Matkovic is back in the starting lineup, Toronto started Ochai Agbaji again. Like if you want to, Agbaji starts. I think that there's a case for that. And then Patrick Williams, who's ramped up a little bit. I don't know what the minutes are going to look like for Patrick Williams night to night, but I do think the ramp for Patrick Williams is obviously on the table, and the ability to approach 30 minutes is on the table. And I think with the Trey Jones injury, this is basically you're looking at the 6 man for the Bulls. $3,500, bad defensive team on the other side of the court. So I would probably take a look at $3,500 Patrick Williams as well.
Sure. I was in on him early this year, and then he kind of got hurt and faded away.
Jared, one more.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on what happens with like the New Orleans situation, but Jeremiah Robinson Earl played, and a lot of it had to do with foul trouble. It's foul trouble, but he has played a bunch lately. So I guess like if we have no Zion, if we have no Yves Missi again, I mean, he's another $3,500 bench player that has now played 22 plus minutes in 3 straight games.
Okay. I don't mind it. Again, at this point in the year, anything's possible. So we've talked about center. Vuk is here though, $7,600. Obviously coming off of another good game fantasy wise in just 26 minutes. But I mean, if they're going to start DeAndre Jordan, like, don't you just go all the way down? I mean, the guy had a vintage DeAndre Jordan game today. Gets a matchup against Chicago. Maybe they can't play him because Vuk stretches the floor. I don't know. But DeAndre Jordan tonight played 38 minutes. He might have combined for 38 minutes this year. Went 11, 15, 4, and 1 in 38 minutes.
Denver has some hilarious wins this year, do they not? Like, they do some hilarious things like, randomly. So, I mean, if he's starting again against Chicago, he is the easiest plug in the book. The problem is,
Like that's a 9:00 game. So you can't lock a 3K guy in at center unless you're got a lot of pieces in that game to move around. You lock him in at util, but again, there's no other pivots for 3. You have to like make sure you have money to move around to get him out of your lineup.
Yep.
If he's not starting, I guess like if he's not starting, what do you think? Like Zeke 71.
Could be Zeke, yeah. Could definitely be Zeke. Could be.
They need a center against Vuk. So like Zeke would maybe athletically match Vuk a little bit better. Jordan's obviously bigger, better on the glass, better defensively, but
I mean, I didn't think DeAndre. It could be Dario Saric.
Yeah.
They could. It's been so random. I mean,
I like that once a year DeAndre Jordan shows he can still do it.
He does once a year. I mean, he remember for a long time he was the backup center, and then they were like, actually, you're not going to play in the postseason, so we don't need you to play. But I think that matters. Like, I'm assuming when Jokic comes back, DeAndre Jordan minutes go away because then they do their playoff rotation with Gordon as the backup center.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? If DeAndre Jordan, like you said, plays at Stone Cold Min, he's going to be the highest rostered player of the slate, and it's not even close. But you just don't know because it's an hour after every other game.
We'll never forget the Dario Saric games there. You know,
we won't. We had 2 of them, and I think there was a couple more in there that he's like absolutely tanked in at mid salary as well. So
Saric again DNP tonight. They only gave Zeke 12 minutes because again they played front end of a back-to-back. They played DeAndre Jordan 38 minutes. There's no way.
All 5 starters played 32 or more, including 3 players playing 37. Aaron Gordon, bad calf, 37 minutes.
You're telling me no one's sitting for Denver in this game?
I mean, I only reason I would say I don't disagree. Only reason I would say maybe they don't, because we don't know what this playoff seeding, but with how conjumbled the playoff seeding is. So I don't know.
Yeah. All right. I guess we have to build a lineup here.
Oh, wait. We haven't talked any center other than DeAndre Jordan.
Oh, that's true. I forgot.
We just talked DeAndre Jordan.
We did. Well, I mentioned Vuk, and then we went down to DeAndre Jordan. Okay, well, rewind. Let's talk about other centers here today. All
right. I'm done. I don't want to talk about any more centers. We can just.
Where else do you want? Nick Claxton? Claxton against Dallas?
By the way, Vooch is elite. Like super elite.
Yeah.
Vooch. I know 7,600 is a great. He's looked so good for the Bulls.
Yeah.
So good that they're
against the Lakers, obviously, but 26 minutes, he had 12, and 5. So
they're in the 9 seed right now. The Bulls have passed the Miami Heat.
You've talked about it, right? Like they were supposed to sell and tank, and then they sort of like half traded off, and yet they still find themselves in the playoffs here.
It's so annoying. Yeah, Vooch is definitely great. Surprise, surprise, John. Miles Turner, big game when Tyrese Halliburton's back. That happens like 100% of the time. We talk about.
Maybe he just has Brooklyn's number back-to-back big games. Yeah.
That's true. And one was without Halliburton, so I guess that theory could be partially dead. I will make one exception for the Washington rule, and it is Alexandre Sarr, aka Alex Sarr. Yeah. That would be the exception because he is playing like enough minutes to where I can like be talked into it.
I mean, you said everybody got limited, but he still played 27. So like,
yeah. No, I mean, largely everybody got like. It's just impossible to like trust anything really. I would say Sarr has been the most like reliable with that, right? So I'd be okay getting to Sarr. Gobert was great the other day. You could play Rudy in a tournament. Claxton, you can play in a tournament. He's fine. Yabusele, 28 minutes. He's fine. Kai Jones was really good again. He just got in foul trouble. Fouled out in 25 minutes, but 27 fantasy points, well over a fantasy point per minute once again. So if there's no Anthony Davis, that's another option we have. Wendell Carter nuked the other day. You never know when you're going to get a Wendell Carter nuke, but Wendell Carter is either winning slates or losing slates. There's literally never anything in between.
I remember we had somebody in our chat too mention like Wendell Carter as like a value play as well. And obviously it came through. 2 of the last 3 games been really good Wendell Carter games, but the moment you put him in your lineup.
Look at the other 3.
I know. The moment you play him. I'll say like the Lakers obviously are apparently a good spot against centers right now. I mean, you saw what Vuk did against them. Jackson Hayes isn't stopping anybody, but like he's a 1 of 20 play probably. I don't know. I can't consciously build a single entry lineup with Wendell Carter Jr. in my lineup. I don't too bad because we were huge Wendell Carter Jr. guys last year. Like we played a lot of Wendell Carter Jr.
Like I don't necessarily disagree. It's just like because it is hard to like imagine. Man, 5,100's not the best price. I don't know. I would. He's probably in my player pool, but not like it's not great.
It's not great. Jackson Hayes does have the minutes, 25 there. It's Chicago. Orlando Robinson. Did they rule Pirtle out already?
No, he didn't play Sunday.
Oh, Sunday game. Okay. Well, you tell me then. Where do you go next? Do you go anywhere next? Do you think they play Vukcevic on this?
No. Unless we hear directly from Brian O'Keefe, there is no chance that
they iced them on the second leg of a back-to-back. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, but why?
I don't know.
Why did they draw the line in the sand at Tristan Vukcevic on the back-to-back?
I don't know. Nothing else makes sense. Maybe he missed the team meeting. Maybe he was late to the game. Like things that they just keep inside. I'll say this. He makes for like a great tournament leverage play because everyone's going to be so afraid to play him.
Yeah, as you should be.
But you know what? If you go out there and if they start him or like
I know what you're saying, John.
Yeah.
I do. Like I understand.
Because he's crushed. And at $4,300, like that's an 8x return type play that no one's gonna play because he just played 4 minutes.
He is a very elite fantasy player that you don't know if he's going to play fantasy in this game or not.
You don't. That is your risk aversion we talk about all the time. And again, you and we're single entry, single lineup players. So very rarely do we go this route because if that does happen, we lose our money. Like we're done for the night. If he plays 4 minutes, we're done for the night.
Done for the night.
Now, when he played 4 minutes the other night, he was like 30% owned.
He sure was. It helped me. It helped me because I was dead in the water, and then I woke up this morning on Sunday because I played Josh Giddey.
Yeah.
I woke up in the morning. I was like, oh, huh.
Yeah.
I won. I won money. It's great.
Yeah. So, like, he's going to be 0% owned this time. And if he does that again, you have no hope. Unless another high roster guy gets hurt, fouls out, gets ejected, who the hell knows, right? Something like that. So, but super curious case of the Washington Wizards here because this would be a great spot to play Tristan Vukcevic in. So, then DeAndre Jordan.
And then DeAndre Jordan.
All right, now we can build a lineup now that we've actually covered the center position. Do we just play Jordan here? Like,
yeah.
You plug him in center or util? What do you do?
Well, what do you even pivot to? The util? Like, I think
if he's not starting, you pivot to like Zeke Najee, I think.
Oh boy! So you just have to save $100.
$100, yeah.
Because at least Najee's going to play.
I mean, like if Jordan isn't starting, I would imagine Najee's still at least the backup center here. They gave DeAndre Jordan 38 minutes. That's the wrong Najee. They gave DeAndre Jordan 30.
There's two M's.
Yeah, no. There's 2 M's. I get it. It's a pan situation. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you don't play him. Maybe you just. But if he does play,
I am okay with playing DeAndre Jordan for the record.
Okay, I am too. I'm curious what the ownership's going to be. Like if he's 60%, you just ride it.
I also think what we're going to probably benefit here from is that game's really appealing, and we're probably going to build with other pieces from that game.
Yeah, we can just pivot around to it.
So, like, if we have to, like, maybe you're right. Maybe we play Jordan in the util.
Yeah.
And then, we'll figure it out where else we want to go, because there's like Trent and Watford.
Play like Kai Jones here or something like that.
Yeah, or Watford 47.
Play Watford to power forward. Not really spending up anywhere, but again, there's only a few spend up spots. We did Bancaro on the other side. It's 5K for a small forward. Bezulis. Bez. B-U-Z.
Bez. Buzelis.
We're out of spots though for Matos.
Yeah.
Out of spots.
Yeah.
Justin Edwards. And then 5K guard. Doughton. Alvarado.
I would not. I'd be hesitant for Dowden because I'm just not sure he's going to play.
Okay. Well, I mean, Alvarado we know is going to play, and then if there's no
yeah, Alvarado's fine.
All right. So as you said, like probably just play guys in that game anyways. Giddy. I mean, we'll move the guards around to appease you.
Thank you
A little bit here. But $100 left over. If guys get ruled out, you drop down from Giddy to like Kobe White, and then you figure it out. You make it work. So it's not a terrible lineup. Again, we're not playing Luka, but we are playing Paolo against the Lakers, so that could be 60 fantasy points.
Paolo, Murray, Giddy, who all in their recent games have scored 50 plus fantasy points.
Right.
So if you got 50 from all three of those guys, you can, and again, there's no guarantee. Luka in a slow-paced game with LeBron and Reeves back, it's not my favorite.
No, dude, he's only gone for 53 and 56 the last two games.
Blowouts. To be fair, unfortunate for him, but yeah, blowouts in those games.
Yeah. All right, Alvarado, Murray, Edwards, Watford, Kai Jones, Giddy, Bancaro, DeAndre Jordan. We'll be back live at 5 p.m. Eastern time to do it all over again for you, Grande. We'll have your playbook out. Good luck till then. Leave us a comment in the comment section. Let us know. Are you afraid of the DeAndre Jordan 3K? Let us know. We'll talk to you then.